All content featured on the Taylor Show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All stories discussed herein are based on alleged events and personal opinions. Nothing shared should be taken as fact or professional advice. Any viewpoints expressed are solely those of host and do not represent any business or organizations.
Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Show, the show where we say things 3 times until they make sense. I'm your host, I'm Taylor Brooke, and today we have someone who rolled into the Hamptons with a skateboard and a fresh perspective. KJ is the newest addition to Summer House and latest guest on the Taylor Show. Welcome, KJ. It is great to have you.
Hello, I'm very excited for this one.
I'm very excited. I just have to say, just seeing the first couple episodes of this season, the energy that you bring to the house is the energy of like everyone has that person in their friend group that's the good vibes. You're the good vibes guy in the friend group.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Yeah, I try to keep the good vibes going. Bad vibes aren't fun.
Summer should be fun.
So I want to kind of hear your origin story because we don't know a lot about you yet. But I know we're going to learn a lot about you. So tell me, where are you from? How did you get involved in going to the Hamptons every summer? Give me the dialogue.
So, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, moved to Kansas City when I was 10. That's where my grandparents on my mom's side of the family is. So yeah, I grew up in Kansas City in this place called Lee Summit, Missouri. It's a suburb outside of Kansas City. So it's probably like, I want to say like a 30-minute drive. Didn't grow up in the city, kind of grew up in the more rural area. And yeah, I love the Midwest. I think that's where my values, actually, I know that's where my core values come from, are the Midwest. Because everyone's like, you're really nice. Where are you from? You're not from the East Coast. I'm like, from Kansas City. And then they're like, oh, you're from Kansas? I'm like, no, I'm from Missouri. There's, because Kansas City's on the border, so you can step in both Kansas and Missouri at the same time. But yeah, so ended up moving to New York during COVID. And yeah, West is also from Missouri. He's from Columbia, which is about 2 hours from Kansas City, from where I grew up. But yeah, West is the homie, and we're both Midwestern boys. And I think the fans love that because it's just like we bring that Midwestern energy. And this was my first summer in the Hamptons, actually. So
Being from Missouri, where did you go on vacation in the summer? Like, there's not beaches in Missouri, are there?
no, we have lakes. So,
Oh, those things. That's what they are. Okay,
yeah.
lakes. Love
Yes.
that. Okay.
Some of the lakes have lake beaches, which is crazy. Like they'll have sand and it's man-made, obviously, and you think you're at the beach. So there's this place that me and Wes get a kick out of. It's called Lake of the Ozarks. Shout out to the Lake of the Ozarks because that is a very fun place, but it gets gnarly down there. Like you have you can go tubing, you can go wakeboarding, but lakes aren't like the cleanest. So it's like you're just like stepping in mud, like in the shallow end, and it's just like, oh, like this is some country shit.
1000%. I identify with
Yeah.
that. I come from a family of farmers. I'm from Pennsylvania,
Okay.
so it's
Okay.
very it's rural as well. It's funny.
hmm
My mother-in-law said once she was like, "Oh, Taylor's a big city girl," and my husband looked at her and was like, "She grew up on a farm, Mom. Like just because she wears like nice shoes, that is
Oh my
not an
gosh,
indication."
that is
So you
hilarious.
said that you and West, you guys had a fast friendship.
hmm
Who else in the house did you click with immediately? Were you like, this is my forever friend?
Carl. Yeah, Carl's my
Really?
friend. Yes. Yes.
Have you been to Soft Bar?
Oh, all the time. I was just there last Friday. Yeah.
I love Soft Bar. The vibes are good. Drinks are always good. Love it there.
No, soft bar is
You
the
know,
best.
I don't know if you know Imrul he was
Yeah,
on the season
Emerald
prior to
pulled
you.
up to soft bar last week with us, actually. That was the first time me and him got to sit down and talk. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, he owns the building next door.
Really? He didn't mention
Yeah.
that. What? Yeah, he didn't mention that.
It's so funny. I was on Verbo looking because I had some interviews up in Brooklyn like in December. And so I was on Verbo and I was like, let me just see like what new spaces are here and stay in a different part of the city. And then Enroll texted me and he said, are you trying to book my place on Verbo? Like, that's my building. I was like, okay, that's very casual. Thank you very much, sir.
Hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, not last Friday, last Saturday I was with them. So that's so funny.
So funny. So prior to going on the show, who did you think, I'm definitely going to hit it off with? And were you a little bit nervous to interact with for the first time?
I knew I was definitely going to hit it off with Sierra and Carl.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little nervous about Jesse, to be honest, because there was actually a room situation that they didn't show, but he was like trying to call dibs on my room. And I have the double bedroom that I think him and West stayed in last season. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, nah, like I just brought everyone's luggage up and like I chose this room. You're not taking my room, bro. And yeah, we kind of like we got into it a little bit, and then after that we became like really close friends, and like Jesse's my boy now. But that's the only time me and him have ever gotten into anything. And then obviously, I think we had a disagreement when it came to the bro code aspect, which we can get
Mm-hmm.
into. But
I love the fact in that story, we talked in the very beginning about you being from the Midwest, and you're like, I was the one that brought everybody's luggage up. Like, I'm being the chivalrous man here. That's my room.
oh, that's so Midwest. Manners, P's and Q's. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Midwest.
Totally. So you mentioned where West and Jesse slept previous seasons. Before going on the show, were you like, I need to do my research. I'm going to go through and watch Summer House. Or had you watched it before? Or did you go in completely blind and you're like, I'm just going to hang out with these strangers for the summer?
There's a little of both.
Yeah.
I took some notes, but I also was just like, whatever happens, happens. And that's kind of what happened.
That makes sense. Now let's get into the bro code of it all. In your daily life, like your life outside of TV, are you a strict follower of the bro code?
I am not.
You're not? Okay, tell us about
What's
it.
the bro code? Is there a thing called the bro code?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
is there a show? There's a show called the bro code?
Not a show, but just the bro code in general.
Oh, yeah, no,
like,
I am a bro code. Okay. I thought there was a show
okay.
called the bro code, and I was just like, why haven't I heard of this? I need to watch this.
Well, there
Okay,
might be after
yes.
this, starring KJ from Summer House, Bro
Yo,
Code, next on Bravo.
I should start a podcast called the Bro Code. If I start it, remember this. Remember this day, everyone. Bro Code
I
with KJ
will.
Dillard. Yes.
I love it.
But yes, I do follow the Bro Code. I have very close guy friends that you just don't do certain things. Like, and that's just what it is. You don't even have to say it's an unspoken thing. And that's how you know what the bro code is. And I trust my guy friends with my life. Like, those are dudes that I know would take a bullet for me.
If someone violated the Bro Code in your friend group, would you ice them out completely for the rest of your life?
I wouldn't say the rest of my life, but it would definitely get talked about, and we would figure out why this is happening, because that's just not the character of my close guy friends. I'm a very character driven type of person, so I'm not going to have people in my close circle that have terrible character, because it's just like I don't want to be surrounded by that. And people who have bad character do sketchy stuff, and I don't like sketchy stuff. So
That is the most eloquent way to say that. I don't like sketchy stuff. Yes. Same.
I don't like
Same,
sketchy
KJ.
stuff,
Literally
like-
same. I want to talk about the skateboarding because as a teenager who loved her pair of Vans and a skateboard, I was like, this feels like so adjacent to what I'm used to. So tell me about that. Like, what got you into skateboarding? Were you a kid when you decided you wanted to start? And like, you're really good at it. So that's very impressive.
Yeah, I was a kid when I started skating. Back in Arizona, like all my friends had skateboards. So I was probably like 6 or 7 when I got my first skateboard. But it wasn't a real skateboard. My mom got me a Walmart board or it was from Target. I don't know, which same shit. But it was a Darth Vader Star Wars board, and the wheels were plastic, and the bearings were trash, and you could barely move on it. And I remember I was just like, this is not it, because I was watching Tony Hawk, I was watching Shaun White. I had the skateboard competitions on TV that I was watching, and I was like, those are real skateboards that they're riding. This Star Wars shit is not it. It's not it. And so I remember for my birthday, I asked my mom, and then my grandpa ended up getting me a real skateboard, and then I learned how to like ollie, and then I tried to learn how to heel flip and kick flip, but it wasn't working, and so I just kind of like gave it up. And then I had a skateboard always, but I was playing sports. And then I remember when I was 12 in middle school, one of my best friends back home in Kansas City, I met him, and he was a big skater, and I just thought he was the coolest dude ever because he had all the skate, gear, and just it was just a cool vibe that my sports side was not having, but then my other side that I didn't realize was my skater side was like, oh yeah, like how do I mix the two where I can be a skater but also still play sports? And then I remember like the first time I went over his house, he had some ramps in his basement. I got hurt, and I was just like, I'm quitting. I'm not doing this ever again. And then something just kept bringing me back. Skateboarding taught me just a lot of life lessons. And I think that led me to just so many different things and opportunities in life. Actually, I know it did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew up with all women, single mom. My dad wasn't in the picture, so having skateboarding and that community and just the lessons it taught me were things that my mom wasn't able to teach me. And so it's crazy how like an ordinary object like that, but the lifestyle can like fill a void and teach you so many different things about life.
That's beautiful. And yeah, you're right. When you think of a skateboard as like just an object, you wouldn't think that it would change so much of your life. So if you had to design a skateboard inspired by this season of Summer House, what would be on it?
Ooh, it would be like a bunch of different things. So it'd be like you have the main characters, like, and then the background, right? Have you seen stuff like that, like murals, where it's just like you
Yeah,
have, okay, so the main would be like Kyle and Amanda, and then it would
I
be
love it.
Jesse West Sierra, and then me and Dara, and then everyone else. I'm just like
That's so good.
I mean, I don't know if that's gonna like make any of the other cast members mad, but sorry, that's just like what it would be. It's my pro model.
I think
It's yeah.
yeah, it's your skateboard. You know, after this podcast, KJ, you're gonna have people reaching out to you being like, yo, we wanna host the Bro Code podcast. Hey KJ, we wanna have you make skateboards for us.
It's okay. I
You're
want to
gonna be an
set the record
entrepreneur.
straight because there's a Reddit going around being like, KJ is lying about his skateboarding. No, I have a sponsor. Their name is Nimbus Skateboards. They offered me a pro model a few years back, and I just didn't feel like I was ready. I just wasn't ready, but I was like gonna design a board and everything. I already knew what it was gonna be, and it was gonna have my name on it. And I just felt like I wasn't ready because I hadn't put out like a video part yet. And so I just want to get the record straight. I'm not lying. Like, why would I lie about? Sorry, that was on my chest. I had to get that off my chest. So
No, I love that because Reddit is just that hole of the internet. And I'll go down and
yeah,
be like, okay, like defending myself to my friends. I'm like, you guys know that's not true about me. And they're like, Taylor, we're not on your Reddit threads. Like, I don't know why you feel like you need to prove this to us.
yeah. And with skateboarding, I always felt like I had to prove things to people in the industry, not to anyone outside of the industry, but in skateboarding,
Mm.
because it's one of those industries where it's very, you know, it's a tight community, a community of outcasts. So you have people who don't fit into the world but we have our own community, so we judge each other very hard. And so I'm the
Mm-hmm.
biggest critic of my own skateboarding, and I took all my skateboarding stuff offline because I'm trying to relearn how to love it and get back to where I was when I was a kid and not be so hard on myself, but I'm a perfectionist. And so everyone's just like, where's his skate videos? Where's this? Where's that? There's no proof, but I'm like, literally anytime I post a skate clip, I'm like looking at it 100 times and then trying to pick out like what I'm doing wrong in my head, where other people are like, oh, keep this up, this is good. And but that's my own problem. Sorry.
I completely understand that. And I did go through your Instagram prior to this interview, and I was looking for a skateboarding video. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I actually don't see any. So that makes sense. I do
Yeah.
want to talk about something I did see on your Instagram, though. I saw one of your first posts is drawing attention to being a mental health advocate. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's my favorite post. Honestly, I look at that post like a little baby because ever since I was 14, I started struggling with mental health issues. I didn't know what it was, and especially at that time, people weren't talking about it like how they are now. And so I just thought something was wrong with me. Like, actually, I was just like, something's wrong with me. Like, and I remember getting like CAT scans. Like, no, this is me being like the ultimate, what is it? When people like freak.
Hypochondriac.
Yeah, I was a hypochondriac when I was a kid because I didn't
So
know
was
what was
I.
going on. Like I was freaking out, having panic attacks. I always thought I was dying. I thought I was going blind for a minute. Like it was
Oh my God,
wild.
KJ, are we the same person? I had
You
a
went through
moment
this
of my life
too?
where I was like, yes, I had 2 upper endoscopies because I thought there was like a Tylenol
Goodness.
stuck in my throat. I thought
Mhm.
I was going blind. I went to so many ophthalmologists. I'm fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I
Yeah,
identify with this so, so much.
it's because our brains are beautiful. We have beautiful brains and we don't give it enough credit. So we think when our brains start to wander off or have these certain thoughts that like something's wrong because we feel alone. But look, me mentioning that, I didn't even know that someone else was going through that. And like we were probably going through that at the same time, which is wild. So hell yeah. But mental health is something a lot of people can't control. I hate when people are like, oh, well, just like stop feeling anxious. Like what? Like you can't. This is a bodily function. You know what I'm saying? Like can't.
Yeah, like I wish I could stop. That would be amazing, Brenda,
Yeah,
but I
like
can't.
no, like you can't control when things are happening. So that's what I was told growing up, especially in the Midwest. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not educated on mental health or just closed-minded and don't want to hear about it. And a lot of people who are resonating with me growing up with mental health stuff was women. Yeah.
Wow. And that does make a good amount of sense. The only people who have ever called me about this podcast and said, I don't know if I would talk as much about therapy and about your mental health journey as you do. And that's only come from men, which I find so.
Wow.
And of course, I'm like, kick rocks. Like, I'm going to talk about literally everything because, like, what you said, like feeling like hypochondriac at such a young age and like all of those anxieties and feelings. If we're not sitting here talking about it, other people aren't going to feel seen. And they're gonna like we're gonna perpetrate that whole narrative for a next generation of people, and that's not something that I wanna do.
No, yeah. And unfortunately, our parents' generation, their parents' generation, they just, were taught to be tough, tough it out, which is fine. Yeah, be tough. But being tough is also speaking up about how you feel and not holding things in. That's tough. I think that's
Yeah.
super tough. And because it's scary. And if you're scared of something, don't you want to face your fears? So, men, face your fears and like literally speak up about how you feel. And like, that's real strength, in my opinion.
I agree. That is real strength. So to close out this interview, I do this thing. I call it a lunch list. So you're able sit down with this person. I'm going to give you a list of names, and if you make it through an hour of lunch with them, Someone hands you $10,000 in cash. You never have to talk to them again, but you have to make it through a full hour sitting with them. These are Bravo celebrities, okay? Stassi Schroeder.
Is I don't know, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I don't know.
Teresa Giudice.
I don't know.
Giudice. Okay. Tom
yeah.
Sandoval.
I don't know. The people I'm saying I don't know to, I don't know them.
You know, this is why you are so refreshing to see on our screens, KJ. I love that. You're going to be walking into Watch What Happens Live, and you're going to be like, are you Andy Cohen? And it's going to be the janitor. And he's going to be like, yeah,
literally,
man.
No, literally. I'm going to be like, where's Andy Cohen? And I'm going to be sitting right next to him. Yeah. So it's
Oh
not,
my
I
gosh.
don't know to, like, if I could do it. It's just like, yeah, I've never heard these names. So, but that's not like me trying to be like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure they're great people.
I'm sure. So I have to ask, have you been invited to Watch What Happens Live yet?
Not yet, but yeah. Not yet. It's not yes or no. That wasn't me saying yes. I just
Understood.
not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, okay, you have to
Yeah.
make me a promise that if you get to Watch What Happens Live, you tell Andy I would be a great bartender.
All right. Or what if you go on and you are the bartender? What if I bring you on as the bartender?
I think you couldn't get a better duo than this right here, honestly. I'll wear my Sex Pistols t-shirt too and we'll match.
Hell yeah. All right, if I get a choice to bring a bartender, because Carl got to bring his bartender from Soft Bar. So
That's
if I
so
get a
cool. Oh my
choice,
gosh.
I got you.
Hell yeah, you heard it here first on the Taylor
Yes.
Show.
Yes.
Where can my listeners find you? They want to follow along with your journey. What's your socials?
Kelly Justin Dillard. That's my full government name. And then
My
you feel
full
like-
government name. I love that.
Yeah, that's on Instagram and TikTok. And if you feel like listening to my music, where I'm actually putting out some new stuff this month. So KJ Dillard on streaming platforms. If you feel like listening to me talk about my emotions and mental health.
Okay, I love that. Go stream him, go follow him on Instagram, and keep watching Summer House on Bravo. Thank you so much for
No, thank
coming on the
you.
podcast
This was
today.
fun.
I'm
I
so glad we got
appreciate
to
it.
connect.
Yes, me too.